If you guys have been following along on the page, you guys would know there's something missing from this garage. Something that is not a fully faired sport bike. This is the perks of being in a year-long, a little bit over a year-long relationship now. Free Uber rides. This would normally cost me like 50 bucks, but I just get to use girlfriend's time. You love me though, right? You love me though?
Oh, yes, I love it so much.
Of course.
And just like that, baby, we got our bike back. So unfortunately, despite the dealership's best efforts, this bike is still not 100% fixed. It is fixed in regards to the oil leak that was leaking out of the drive shaft, as it should be. Yeah, okay, that looks relatively dry. That's good. The key, however, still does not work. As you guys remember, I made a video complaining about how the keyless bike does not work keyless. So you unfortunately have to hold it up to right here, hit the power button, and there's like a 50-50 chance it'll start 100% of the time. Come on. There we go. Okay, we got it. Works better sometimes more than others. And unfortunately, because this bike has been sitting at a dealership instead of in my garage where it would be happier, it still is unfortunately rocking the stock exhaust on this bike. Up, and away we go. Man, it feels so good to be back on my bike. I legitimately forgot I even owned this thing for a little bit there. I was literally walking through my garage. I'm like, there's something that feels missing, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. In my head too, I was even like, oh, maybe I should buy another bike. You know, something feels like it's missing. And then I remembered I owned this motorcycle. And I'm like, oh, so I do feel like some brief reintroductions are due because I haven't had this bike in a while. This is my Triumph Rocket 3. It is a 2.5 liter 2500cc motorcycle. It is made by a company called Triumph, which they are a British motorcycle manufacturer. I'm an American. I live in the United States of America, so British things tend to not be known for the highest quality of objects. However, it is undeniable this is probably one of the coolest motorcycles I have ever bought in my life. I've never owned a cruiser motorcycle in my life until this one. However, I have had some issues with this bike. I've had some minor electrical issues after the dealership tried installing the quick shifter on this bike. It sounded like a wire got pinched or something like that. The home button was causing the screen to freak out. And of course, on the first ride after I got this bike broken in and got the first service done at the dealership, of course, I just happened to have a drive shaft leak because this motorcycle is driven by a drive shaft instead of a chain. Generally, these motorcycles are highly regarded as reliable. I just happened to get one of the seemingly only unreliable ones out there because I'm the unluckiest person you'll ever meet in your life. Unluckiest lucky person to ever exist in the world ever. Lucky in the fact that I get to own really cool motorcycles like this, but unlucky because they always break on me all the time, seemingly. Now, the entirety of the purpose of today's video is not to make a video complaining about a bike. We have done that many times. The title of the video is going to be Full Throttle on a Triumph Rocket 3. Now, these videos for me are always meant to be a celebration of the motorcycles that I own. It is the first time I ever whacked the throttle full beans for the first time ever, and especially on a bike as powerful as this. It's probably going to get a little ridiculous. Angels might be seen in this episode. Heaven itself might expose itself to your boy. This is going to be full throttle on the biggest, one of the more expensive bikes I've ever bought in my life, coming from someone who owns an H2. This is going to be insane. Generally, these full throttle videos involve me doing an oil change on the bike, maybe throwing an exhaust on it so that we really get the sound. These full throttle videos are meant to be a full celebration of a motorcycle, which is one of my favorite things in the world. This episode is unfortunately going to be a little bit different. Because of the issues I had with this bike were so early on, a lot of the stuff I like to do in a full throttle video has already been taken care of. Oil change has already been performed on this bike for its first service, and so all that's really left for me to do on this bike is to ride it for what it is. And I just remember the key still doesn't work, so I gotta dig this out of my pocket. 685 miles on this bike. I barely got to ride this bike before I had to give it back to the dealer. And I really hope I'm not jinxing myself with this statement. I hope that was the last issue that I faced with this bike, because I treated this bike like a princess during its break-in period. Let's go ahead and get that cold start one more time. Not really cold start, this is like a very warm start. And you can barely hear it because this thing is a vacuum cleaner. Alright, well, we have 3 modes that we're mainly interested in today. This first being road mode, which is like the normal commuter mode, like the dad mode. Next, we have sport mode. And lastly, we have rider, which is just, it says everything is off. So that is interesting. We're going to go ahead and set this bike to sport, which is a mode I have not touched on this bike. Now, just so for reference, I've been riding for about 6 years. I have owned probably well over 20-ish bikes at this point. I have crashed about 2 of them. I have very limited track experience, and there's a car coming up very fast behind me. Cool. All right, well, we're gonna get out of his way. I'm just gonna let him go ahead. I don't want to have to deal with cars. Whenever I do these full throttle videos, I like doing them when there's no cars and no one is the wiser of when I'm doing it. I'd rather just no one know what I'm about to do. Now, the cool thing about this bike having such a big engine is it actually doesn't make that much horsepower. My Yamaha R1 that I just bought makes about 25 more horsepower than this bike. However, This bike makes more than double the amount of torque, which torque is really what you feel on a bike when you're accelerating, while the horsepower is just really what gets you to that top speed. Okay, breathe in, breathe out. I don't know what is about to happen. I know I'm in sport mode. I know there's traction control to save me just in case. I'm just mentally preparing for everything to come loose. And without further ado, let's get the full beans acceleration on the Triumph Rocket 3. Oh my god! Holy crap, guys! That just took a wind out of me. That felt like a Tesla, like riding in like a Tesla going like ludicrous mode. Bro, I have to feel that again. That was amazing. Launching this thing from first gear is actually insane. Oh my god. I could tell, I'm not looking down because I'm trying to look up at like what's happening in front of me. I'm scared to launch this thing without traction control because I feel like the traction control is doing like a lot of heavy lifting here. I have to like take a break from doing pulls because it hurts my hand. I had, to be fair, I had back day like yesterday. Like I was doing pull-ups and everything. Like my grip strength is already not fantastic. But like trying to hold, like you are literally unlike any other motorcycle I've ever been on, because you can tell this thing squats when it starts to accelerate instead of like lifting the front wheel up. Like if you just pull on the throttle really quick, it squats and then goes. Again, a lot like a Tesla, like an electric vehicle. But that is literally, that's what it feels like. I'm like I'm doing like a pull up when holding on to this thing. I don't know how my girlfriend's gonna be on the back of this. If I did a pull with my girlfriend on the back of this and I don't have the backrest on this thing, she's flying off. I really like that quick shifter too. I didn't have the quick shifter on this bike the entire time that I've owned it. Triumph makes really good bikes when they work. It's like BMW, dude. I swear, I hate BMW. I never bought another BMW after my first S1 kit and the horrible experience I had there. And Triumph low-key gives me similar vibes when just like it takes them years to fix something. But when it works really well. Well, the thing is about a 2.5 liter motorcycle is it does not get the best gas mileage out there. This thing is a thirsty girl, my god. Let's see if we can switch this thing into rider mode before we take off here. This is the mode I'm a little bit more terrified of. This is the mode without traction control, so that means this thing can get a little... It also means we're going to be tearing through that rear tire a little bit more frequently. So this is going to be the costs you a lot of money mode. This bike has more torque than my old Honda Civic did. Oh dear, oh boy, here we go. It's like getting on to like a roller coaster you've never been on for the first time ever. This is probably a motorcycle I want to respect a little bit. We're going to get in front of this van here because we have the power to do so. That is just the thing about this bike. You have the power to just pass people whenever you want. There is nobody with more power than you, more passing power. Even like a leader bike, if an R1 came up next to me, like you're not winning off of like an immediate go. Like watch this, we're gonna launch it right here. I'm gonna get like a nice little... Why does that feel so underwhelming? Hold on. This feels worse than sport mode. I hate to like undersell it, but like that felt extremely underwhelming. I think sport mode low-key was faster. I think sport mode's faster. I legitimately think sport mode had way more oomph. Maybe it's because I'm not getting any traction and that's why. No, I'm getting traction. It's getting traction. I think sport mode was faster. Alright, well that's interesting. Can I switch it back to sport mode? I cannot. Cool. Would now be a good time to mention that this bike is actually considered to be really bad stock. That might explain why in this like rider mode that I'm in with like it's supposed to have traction control off, it's supposed to be like the max power map. I think it's worse than sport mode, straight up. I felt very underwhelmed in the rider mode, so don't know if maybe I got to read the manual on that one or what's going on with that. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this bike in sport mode. I think that's the mode that this bike has the most oomph. That's where this bike has the most amount of beans. This is the one bike that I have in my lineup that is truly not built for the track. Like, you will never catch anybody. I mean, I'm sure there's a psychopath out there that would do it, but that psychopath being me. I just severely doubt you'll ever see someone on track. That's a chipmunk. I severely doubt you'll ever see someone on a track day with this bike. It's a very heavy motorcycle. It's very long, but that's kind of why I like this bike. The expectation that people have of you on this bike is much lower than what people have of you on like an R1 or a V4 for that matter. There's the expectation I noticed from other bikers that they want you to do reckless stuff even when the conditions don't call for it because it's what is expected of you on a sport bike. However, I notice the expectation falls off when you're on bikes like these. Like if you're on an adventure bike or a sport touring bike even, the expectation is that you ride a little bit safer. which is so weird, but kind of makes sense. It's like, why are you going to own a gun if you don't plan on firing it? You got the bullets loaded, like you might as well use it. And that's why I bought this bike originally, because I felt like it fits who I am these days more. I ride exactly what this bike calls for. I also want to ride longer distances. I plan officially on taking this bike with me all the way to Oregon. A road trip from Ohio to Oregon, 40-hour road trip on this bike. Now I have like a windscreen that just came in the mail, so I plan on putting that on there. I just ordered saddlebags for this bike. Plus, can you just imagine like this cockpit while riding the Oregon coast? It's gonna be beautiful. I just hope it stays a little bit reliable, but as long as I don't do anything ridiculous on it, I think we should be okay. I really try not to come off in my videos like I'm like trying to act like unk or anything like that, because I really, like, in the grand scheme of things, yes, 24 is still relatively young. However, over the years, my friend groups has been getting younger and younger. As someone who was in high school, was hanging out with people in their mid-20s, I am now the guy in their mid-20s hanging out with a 19-year-old in my friend group. My friend group ranges from like a 19-year-old all the way up to like people my age or even older than that, but still. With that comes the exposure to a lot of my previous mentalities as a younger person, and exposure to the older mentalities I was exposed to when I was younger. My point being 24 years old is hard. Trying to ride with a 19-year-old at 24 years old is impossible sometimes, because their brains don't work like yours and they just want to go fast all the time. Being 24 is also hard because everybody older than you, a lot of people I used to be friends with, just kind of quit riding. A lot of these guys deem that the danger isn't worth, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, and so they just up and quit. And it makes me sad because I love this hobby. I understand the dangers of it, but that never stopped me. And it just sucks to like be friends with someone and then it's just like, oh, they lose interest in it because it was just a medium for them to go fast. Like they get into cars or something else like that because they were never truly interested in the bike. They were just interested in the feeling of going fast. And so they get in the car so they can still have that sensation of going fast while being safer. My point being 24 is hard. But this cruiser, this hulking beast of a bike, makes being 24 a little bit cooler, if that makes sense. It's still not like the unk bike. I can feel cool about not glitching the speed limits and being stupid. I can feel content with this. You know, it's something incredible that I noticed about like ripping up and down this way. There have been a lot of cops sitting out today, like a lot of them. I'm pretty sure one just passed me going this way when I was trying to get a thumbnail. But check this out about this bike. The rear brake on this bike is literally the size of a front caliper on a sport bike, which is not usually how it is on a motorcycle. Usually a back brake is like pretty useless. But check this out. Okay, I'm gonna speed up to about, I'm gonna hold it at, well, I'm gonna straighten out here for a second. Okay, let's just say I was coming around this bend and going really quick. There's a cop sitting right there. Speed up to 45. Let's say I want to get back down to 30 really quick. Immediately. Did you guys see that? It's instant. Like literally, if you just keep a foot on, I'm not even touching the front brake. Speed up to 45 again. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Instant, bro. That was actually a little bit slower. I can do faster than that. Bro, like this bike is amazing. This is why I love the beginning of the season, bro. All right, boys, well, we've hit the point of the episode where I got to go to a motorcycle meet. I don't have to, but I don't want to miss this. It's been months since we've had a motorcycle season here in Ohio. I think I've expressed it enough talking about the weather in my videos. I think people are sick and tired of it. Sorry, we're not all blessed to be from awesome climates where you can ride all year round. One last thing I wanted to show off about the Rocket 3. Check this out when you rev it. It moves the entire thing. This is just the coolest motorcycle ever. I can already tell this is going to be a massive meet. Everybody always underestimates how big the motorcycle scene is in Ohio. There's so many bikes, dude. It's like a non-stop stream of them. I don't want to cut anybody off, but I feel like I kind of gotta, sooner rather than later, I just gotta cut in here. Gotta grow up here. There we go. We'll squeeze right on here.
Wow, this meet is actually insane. There's bikes literally everywhere. I can't even cross the street because I'm gonna get ran over by these things. My bike is way over there. I got blocked in. How you feel, Mike? So you got this entire parking lot, right? We have bikes down all the way down there. We have bikes all the way filling up this entire parking lot. We come all the way up here. There are literally bikes down this entire road down here too. They swing all the way around this hotel right here. There's a Harley dealership over there. They're filling up over there. That's how many people are here right now. Oh, God. I just saw that. That sucks, bro. Tragic. Hey, bro, you'll have that sometimes. It happens.
It was a lot of taking photos and stuff. I mean, it's really sick, dude. It really makes me, I was kind of having a bummer day, honestly, when I first started recording this video. Really no explanation as to why. Oh, hey. I'm out.
Watching you on YouTube, I believe.
Thank you. Do you want to say hi? Do you want to be in it?
Sure. What's up?
Well, I'm going to hop out of here. We're going to go get some food, so.
Hey.
Thank you, man. God, yeah, my social battery's out, bro. I don't know if you can tell. Dude, it's so wicked. I mean, it low-key cheers me up because it's like, it makes me really happy to see like a physical, that's a problem with social media. You never really get to see like a physical example of like you're doing anything for the world. But seeing all the people out here really kind of changes it. It makes me feel a little bit more like, wow, I am having an impact. It makes me happy. Holy cow, dude. The bike scene has evolved, bro. This was not like this 2 or 3 years ago.
Safe.
You too, big dog.
Yeah, we got an hour ride back home.
Yeah? Oh my God.
Yeah, it won't be bad though.
Do you have gloves?
I have one.
Okay. You're not cold?
This one I had in my pocket.
Okay.
This time I'm not.
Fair enough.
I got the weight to chip
I got my thermal on and everything. It's still going to be a cool ride home. He was asking me, so because of his hand, he has his throttle on his left side instead of his right, and he wants me to ride his bike, which I really want to because I think it's awesome. Seeing someone like him is really inspiring. Hey, it's fixed now. Nick's got a girlfriend. Nick has a girlfriend, and he brought her to a bike meet for the first date for whatever reason.
You don't like you?
What?
You don't like you?
I don't think she likes anybody. Hi. You're so cute. Of course. It's so cute. Reminds me of my dog.
Huh?
It's so cute. Reminds me of my like childhood dog.
Yeah. She was my dream for like ever.
She's so cute. Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. So cute. Oh my goodness. You're so precious. I think that was a pretty successful day. I got to meet a lot of you guys at the meet. There are tons of people, tons and tons of people asking for photos, and it's always a little bit overwhelming, but it's cool. We got one more time for one more little pull, I suppose. Let's slow it down here, about 30 miles an hour, and let's go. By far one of the best purchases I've made in a minute. As long as this bike continues to stay reliable, I say continues. As long as this bike stays reliable, I don't have a problem with like continuing to do things with this bike. It really annoys me. It gets on my nerves whenever I spend a lot of money on my bikes and then they have problems. Obviously, I feel like that's a pretty common opinion to have. But I like this bike a lot. I like it a lot more than my old S1K, than V4, anything. Any bike I've ever owned, even the bikes I have problems with, like this, even though I've had problems with this bike, I want to continue to own this bike and do stuff with it. Obviously, like I'm talking about traveling the country, going 6,000 miles, 40-hour road trip with this bike, spending like 2 weeks outside with just me and this bike. Like I like this bike a lot. It just, the beginnings of the bike always are kind of a tall tale sign of what the ownership experience is going to be like. And I just hope that this one's the exception, not the rule. Triumph, I think, built probably this is one of the most underrated bikes on the market, hands down. One of the most fun, most unique experiences on a motorcycle I've had in my 6 years of riding. This thing's been an absolute pleasure to ride and own so far. Besides the small issues, I plan on keeping this bike for quite a while. With all of that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of a different segment of my normal full throttle videos, and I hope you guys are having a lovely day. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. I did notice when I was cleaning the Triumph, this is the next day, by the way, they never replaced this bolt. Also, the screen still flickers and stuff too, so there's still problems with this bike, but I don't really care. It's fine.